Hello, my friends. Today's August the 24th, and this is a psychic reading for you if this is your birth date, or if you just want to listen to it and see if you get anything out of it anyway. You might have something that comes through to you. Blessed be either way. This is a four-card reading to cover the year to follow, approximately 6 to 10 minutes long. I'm a psychic reader and healer, and I can do a lot of internet readings one-on-one, or I'll do a lot of different modalities out of my office in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So this is, again, a four-card reading, a lens card to look at the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action to take to stay in balance against that challenge, and an outcome or synopsis card. I draw from four different decks, and this is the first card. The lens card is the ring. The ring is about your commitments. The ring is about those rings that you create. It's rings of fellowship, it's rings of love, it's rings of work, it's rings of friendship, it's rings of commitment to yourself. The ultimate rings, are the rings we put on our fingers. The papal ring, committed to Christianity, the wedding ring, committed to another person, the rings that we hold in our gatherings. It's those are sacred rings, and if we commit to them, then we should deeply commit to them. If we've deeply committed to them, and if we forget about them, we should renew them, look at them, renew them if they need to be renewed, or ritually chop them off, break them up if they're no longer serving and no longer in the right place and time and head understanding that it really serves. But a commitment is a commitment, and the rings say, what are your commitments? Who are you committed to? What are you committed to? Are you committed to yourself? Are you committed to another? Do you take each other into consideration? Is it a ring that's full and open and complete, or is a ring that's, has some pain and some problems and some cracks and some breaks? And is it serving you? And that's not just a ring to another person. That's a ring to everything that you're involved with or uninvolved with, that you forgot to break the ring off of commitment, because those rings of commitments, they call a sacredness into the moment. They call a divine kind of understanding in the moment. You've committed to something, so there's a ritual, there's a ceremony, there's a sense of this is important, and the universe responds in that way. And if you are faltering in that in some way, something inside of you knows it doesn't feel right, and it's the best thing is to clear up the pattern of the ring. Either break the ring off, surrender, let go, blessed be, or recommit to the ring. So here is your particular challenge, the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands usually, eight wands are about inspiration and fire and passion and doing things in the world, and the eights are often about, you've come through the sixes, there's a heart-centeredness. The eights are about a new foundation, or a foundation that really feeds you inspirationally. The hummingbirds are getting their nectar from all kinds of, and bees are getting their nectar from all kinds of different flowers. It's a multi-level inspirational place, but I think that's your challenge, is you're not feeling inspired where you're at, and you're not feeling inspired by what you're doing on some level. Maybe other things are feeding you, but there's something important to you, but it's not feeding you any longer. And there's a question, I think, within you that says, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to honor here? What am I supposed to create here? And probably it's a lot of unconscious feelings that really just wish to be looked at. And so you can look at them, use that ring metaphor to look at them and say, am I fully committed to this ring? If I am, I should be involved. If I'm not involved with this ring, if there's something in my ring that's no longer serving me, feeding me, connecting to me, maybe it's the whole ring that's no longer serving me, feeding me, connecting me with it together. I think the inspirations really want to merge on some level with something that feels empowering, that they can do, that you can do, that you can put your action to, that you can put your fire to, that you can put your passion to. So where's your fire? Where's your action? Where's your passion? And why is it not involved with what you're doing right now? And maybe it's time to break it, and maybe it's time to renew it and deepen it. So this is about, I think, prudence and an awareness of what really serves you, what really serves you, in the longest runs of things, in the fiery nature of things. And so if there's a challenge there, you might feel, depleted, and you might feel exhausted, and you might feel depressed, and you might feel the other side, angry and raging and not really understanding why you're doing that either. Normally, this card says you've come so far that you're not going to give yourself over to those really big extremes of things, but there's something not connecting here, and you want that passion. You want to know what to do, where to find your passion, and whether this is the passion that you want, or something else. And here's Horse. Here's the action to take to stay in balance against the Eight of Wands. Well, there's several, I think, issues or lessons that come out of Horse. One is power to journey. Horsepower that gave early humans the ability to go farther distances, to move heavier things, to live their life more nomadically, more efficiently, more effectively in the hunts, in the war, in the gathering. So horses were about power. Horses not only about power to the physical realm, but power to the spiritual realm. Horsehide drums, because they knew horse could travel. They believed horse could, travel up into the heavens, carrying them to another world so that they could be they could see into that world, into that liminal form, into that place where they could ask the questions and get the answers that they really needed. And horses also equality and equanimity. The horses, they don't care if you're a brown horse or a white horse or a black horse or a big horse or a little horse. Quite often, they love each other. So there is a equality that comes out of horses, and I think that has something to do with your action to take as well. It's about, I think, respect, self-respect, and respect for your own power to choose. But I think overall this says to me a journey, looking for something that's more equal, that's more equalizing, that feeds you as well as feeds others. It doesn't really matter, I think, what that is, what that journey is, who that journey's with, but you have to feel something empowering in it. You have to find your own power in it, and it's important to find your power. That's a ring too, a ring of commitment to yourself, to find and do the things that feel like what your fire really wants to do, what you want to give your energy to, what you want to make your will go toward, how you want to define yourself on an ego level. And the ego is important, to name yourself and to build yourself, and then to, we often lose those definitions because those definitions are going to fall and fail at some point anyways, because we're not going to be here, and we're no longer going to be a doctor or a dentist or a lawyer or whatever it is that we are. So it's about transitions and power and journey, which to me says something here. This ring needs to deepen or fall apart and journey, go to something else. And I think going to something else is important. But I also think that in this journey, maybe the finding of equality and the looking for equality and balance and baseline connections again might be really important in this, to either solidify the ring or break up the ring. I'm talking to a lot of people. 22 million people might share this birthday with you today around the world. So there has to be a lot of variance and possibilities, but the key issue, I think, is your ring and your ring of commitment, and whether that ring needs to be gone away from so you can form a new ring that has deeper meaning to you, or whether that ring needs to be jumped into. You might go up to the liminal realm and ask for clarity about where you need to go. It might be about journeying with Horus in deep meditation to find the answers of what you really need to do. That can be a very large part of how you balance this fire energy out. Journey to find your answers. That's a commitment to yourself. That's a commitment to the deepening of your own wisdom and the deepening of your own connection. You can't forget yourself and you can't forget others, but you want to put your passion into something that really has meaning for you, and that is the final card. I think opening your heart to find what really has meaning for you, and letting the dove fly, letting the creativity fly, letting the heart fly, letting the trust fly, letting the deepest connections to yourself fly. And there is that deepest ring. I think if you forget about your heart and you forget about your own passions, if they're heart centered, you're going to win, and you're going to open, and you're going to blossom, and you're going to bloom, and you're going to fly. So let this be a clarity year of looking at the rings that serve you and either deepening them or letting them go through ritual, through awareness, and through love. Aho.